Hello everyone, my name is Isaiah Juarez from Fresno State's Latinx in Education, and today I'm going to be talking about the conflicts in understanding ethnic studies as an academic research field in both the past and as of recently. We'll focus on two different conflicts to establish an overall takeaway on the significance of ethnic studies in American high schools. And two conflicts I will be giving context on will be Senate Bill 108, which was passed in Arizona in the year 2010, and the banning of AP African American Studies courses in Florida. For Arizona, I will be basing my context on the documentary Precious Knowledge, Fighting for Mexican American Studies in Arizona Schools. And for my coverage on Florida, I will be using Education Week's Florida's Ban on AP African American Studies Explained. Although these conflicts are from two different time periods in two different states, there's two similarities in rationale that I really want to point out. First is politicians and citizens believe that ethnic studies teaches anti-American ideals, since ethnic studies informs students on their culture's identity and not an Americanized identity. Second similarity in rationale is the overall purpose is to indoctrinate students, making them politically united in opposition to the United States government and its citizens. According to Precious Knowledge, the board proposed that ethnic studies courses are meant to encourage racism and racial rhetoric. One of the lawmakers in the documentary claimed that Mexico is somewhat at fault for the ethnic studies department, since the community believes in cultural ideals like the concept of reconquista to support the board's claim of students being influenced to oppose American interests of citizenship and social values. In terms of indoctrination, one of the Arizona community members, they called in to say how the schools are supposed to be teaching the kids to think for themselves, not to indoctrinate them. In Education Week's article, political official named Manny Diaz Jr. stated, "We do not accept woke indoctrination masquerading as education." And in addition to that, Governor Ron DeSantis is mentioned to say, "We want education, not indoctrination." Indoctrination implies a sense of political motive, but also implies ethnic studies departments represent as an academic research field. They're basically claiming that the research field is faulty, it's biased, and is going to cause more mental biases on race rather than an understanding of race in American society. Although we're looking at similar rationales, we also want to consider what was the direct result of ethnic studies being present for the students. In Precious Knowledge, students taking ethnic studies courses significantly improved on Arizona SATs. Graduation rates for students enrolled in an ethnic studies course averaged to 93%. This means students academically perform much better if an ethnic studies course based on their community is present, since it connects education to their personal well-being, encouraging a sense of self-pride. A second direct result highlighted in the documentary would be how lecturers recognize how ethnic studies helps students better understand race correlates with education and the structure of institutions in America. Now, one of the lecturers mentioned how if you live on a poor side of town, your school isn't going to get as much funding due to property taxes. This means that if you are somebody who is historically oppressed, that causes the educational institution to put you at a disadvantage because your school is not receiving as much property taxes as it should be. To highlight a direct result from the Educational Week article, AP African American Studies allows the students to recognize marginalized perspectives like the LGBTQ, since they are unable to relate with individuals in that group on a personal level. Ethnic studies is not a political vessel. It is not a form of hate speech. It is not a form of rhetoric against an institution. If you consider the insistence to remove ethnic studies, that person or group seeks to promote ideals of American assimilation and patriotism
in high school education,
rather than allowing individuals to accept their identity as people. Now with that, I thank you for your time, and I hope my presentation today was somewhat helpful to you. Have a good day.